There you go. Meditation. Good.
Meditation,
Good. And then something you've learned from life. A lesson. If I asked you to tell me something about life, what would you tell me?
yeah. That would say accepting my mistakes.
Very good. Accepting our mistakes is the first step in learning how to get better.
Accept it and not procrastinating.
Good. What do you think happens when we don't accept our mistakes? What happens internally?
What happens? It
Yeah.
will be like a vicious circle.
Very good. We keep repeating it, right? Over and over.
Vicious circle.
So therefore, mistakes, in my opinion, only define me when I'm not learning from them.
Yeah.
If I'm learning from the mistakes, it's actually creating a better version of me,
Yeah.
right? Because there is no success without failure.
Yeah. There's no redemption.
Nothing, right? There's no overcoming something if I didn't fall. But overcoming something feels good. I don't know about you. When I overcome an obstacle or I overachieve on something, I feel good. But in order for me to have gotten that feeling, I had to be presented with a trial. I had to be presented through a difficult moment. I had to be given something that could create growth because I didn't feel like I wanted to do it, but I did it anyway.
It's like you feel the trial, because that trial, like, it's so easy to feel, like, angry about
Yeah.
it, irritated. Like, I feel like that's what the trial wants you to do. Like,
Uh-huh.
you just, like, feed on that shit.
I used to get mad at God because I thought God was giving me it
I feel when I'm attacked.
as punishment,
I feel when
right?
I'm attacked.
And instead of actually for growth,
Yeah, I
right?
feel when I'm attacked.
And the Bible says God does not tempt.
This shit, yeah.
So if you're being tempted today, it's not God that's tempted. God tests us. He doesn't tempt us. In the Bible it states in James, you could only be tempted by God when you're not close enough to, only by the devil when you're not close enough to God. So my temptations are prolific because I'm not close enough to God. So the temptation is an indication to go to God. The temptation is not to succumb to it because I'm weak.
Yeah.
I'm only being tempted because I'm not close enough to God, so the enemy is able to get at me with thoughts. So if you take your temptation and you give it to God and you don't succumb to it, do you know what comes from that? A blessing. So the devil gets us blessed. Think about it. The devil gets me blessed in the sense he's doing God's work and he doesn't even know it. God's allowing the devil to tempt us so we could go to him to overcome the temptation, to win the test, to have a testimony to help the next person.
Yeah. Makes sense.
That's it.
It's fucked up, bro. Like, the music, bro, frequencies are recorded, bro, and all that drill music and drill rap, bro, that's just gonna make people do evil shit. Like, the music sounds good, but I find that just a way of people
But
just,
you have to
like,
practice
killing
practice
each
though,
other
what
and
you
shit.
learn to, but you just
Fucking
don't
each
keep
other,
up.
you know what I'm saying?
No, yeah. Knowledge becomes wisdom when you practice knowledge.
You have to practice, you have to execute it.
Yes, because you all know what you have to fucking do, right? I don't have to come in here and tell you what you have to do.
Yeah.
You know what you have to do. The reason that we're not wise and preventing things or overcoming things is because we're not applying what we know.
Yeah, the
What-
thing is, we know so much, but we just know, we don't execute it.
So let me ask you a question on that.
We try to memorize the Bible,
Yeah.
but we don't execute it.
Yeah, the Bible's not...
It doesn't say you have to memorize the Bible. God said you just have to execute it.
And if you recall Paul, Apostle Paul, he said, have your life resemble the gospel. Have your life resemble the gospel. So basically, live Jesus' teachings in real life rather than just teach people on how to do it. You have to show
We
them.
know a lot of people likes to teach.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of false prophets, but at the same time, Jesus was a servant leader.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people like to memorize the Bible, but they really don't.
And you know what?
execute it.
The Bible talks about people like that, and we aren't even supposed to get upset with them. Why? Because Jesus' name is still being said. Whether their intentions are right or not, God is still getting his glory even with the false prophets, because they're still speaking on the gospel. Whether or not someone's living the gospel is not for me to judge, right? I will be judged in the manner in which I judge. So if I'm judging somebody because they're only talking about God, but they ain't living God, I talk about God, I don't always live with the shit I'm saying, if I'm being honest. You know what I'm saying? I'm not always practicing what I preach, if I'm being honest. But that's okay because God is still getting His glory. He knows my intention. Everything that's done in the dark is going to come into the light. He knows my heart. Every false prophet out there, before they leave this earth, they're going to get their fucking number called and people are going to know. You see it now. Look at Diddy. Look at all these people that are doing shit.
For some reason, they just want arguments. You know,
That's it.
They just want to, you know.
And I'll refer to the book of James. If anyone knows who James is, it's
People
Jesus.
just want to argue with you.
Yes. So Jesus' half brother was James.
They want to tell you this and that just for the sake of arguments, really.
Yeah.
They know the Bible, they know this and that for the sake of arguments. They don't really practice it.
Yeah. I kind of don't even let those people bother me, though. I pray for them.
I've seen that so many times.
I know, but see, I think the enemy wants you to see them in that way rather
No, I
than.
just mentioned it.
Oh, you just met. Oh, I thought maybe it bothered you. I apologize.
I just see them around me.
Yeah.
Yeah, around me. I'm not talking particularly about you, but I just see that around me.
Oh, it's okay. Yes, discernment is different than judgment.
Yeah.
Discernment, and we're supposed to discern by the fruits of someone's
Say
spirit,
something, they'll say something.
right? So just because someone's not acting right today, I don't judge them on the behavior. I discern their spirit. Maybe they're just having a bad day because I know this person and people like being around this person. Fruits of the Spirit is kindness, love, goodness, long-suffering, joy, peace. When you see someone having these, they're in the Spirit. We all fall short of the glory of God. No, not righteous, no, not one. So if we're judging each other on our behavior, you're never going to be able to discern who the person really is. So I was given a suggestion because I'm horrible at dating. Just telling you that right now, my picker is fucking off. Right? So what the person told me, it made perfect sense. He says, if you want to date somebody and truly build substance, you first have to know their core. Who they truly are as a person. Why? Because when they're not acting like their true selves, you won't judge them. You know who they are at the core. Maybe they're just going through something. So that means I need to build a friendship with a woman before I make it a relationship. And I don't know about you, I fall in love with women within fucking 5 minutes sometimes, right? Because they give me this feeling, and in my mind, I already married them. I already know the house we're going to live in. I already know the car we're driving. I already know the name of the kids. I want to have 2 boys. I want to have a girl. Within 10 minutes of meeting the fucking girl. That's an addictive personality trait. So just because I'm not using the drugs doesn't mean that the traits aren't present. I'm not an addict, but everybody has addictive personality traits. Everyone. Wanting more, it's an addictive personality trait.
It can destroy you too.
Yeah, if you want to make more money, your job is going to become your addiction. If you want more muscle, your gym is going to become your addiction. Lying, it's an addictive personality trait. If we're lying and not letting people know what's truly going on with us, that's an addictive personality trait. Lying, blaming people, these are all, look it up, Google it. Google addictive personality traits. It will show you how every person in this world has addictive personality traits, right? But we label it. So good. Where are we at? He gave me his. Oh, what do you got for me, brother? Action word, life lesson.
Huh?
Something you could practice today. Who you need?
Do you guys see Bathroom Kings?
No, I brought I brought it down a little while ago. The yellow one from upstairs.
There it is.
There's one.
Here, see?
Uh-oh.
You know why? Because we think somebody is inside.
Spanking.
And, you know,
They're like MDs.
So something you could practice today that'll make you better.
Some of that practice today, choosing to be around better people than people that I know.
Surround yourself with good people.
Yeah.
I already said somebody that I know is gonna get me in trouble or make her laugh.
Good. And then what is our life lesson?
A life lesson: never pee into the wind.
You know what's funny though? You never pee into the wind, but if anyone knows about airplanes always take off into the wind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that way
Again, yes.
That uplift.
So look what God might be teaching us about life. In order to reach the altitude that we want to go, we have to go against the wind. It's not going to be us going with the wind. It's going to be a difficult road up if we truly want to get to that altitude.
God works many, it's like from the girl, there's little bitty things with that attention.
Yes. Because all truth is God's truth, right? So anything that has truth to it is coming from God. You can't argue truth. You could try, but there really is no argument, right? So yeah, planes actually take off against the wind. So if you want to take off right now, you're probably going to be taking off against a lot of resistance based on what our past, right?
Talking about peeing though.
I know, but when you said that, you're absolutely right. But when you said that, it made me think of the plane. So, but good stuff. What do you got?
Humbleness and everything after.
How do you know you're being humble? What is something that has to be present in your life in order for you to know that you're humble?
Blessed.
Good. What else? Okay, good. Good for me is asking for help. If I'm asking for help, I'm humbling myself because I don't want you to help me. I want to figure this out on my own. And then the second one is if I can admit I'm wrong, I'm humble. My ego wants me to blame you, and I'm right, so I don't have to do the work. You have to fix what you need to fix before I fix what I need to fix. So I know you're not going to do it, so therefore it gives me the free pass of not having to do work by blaming you. Right? So good shit. What do you got for me, brother? Action word, life lesson.
Action word, discover.
Good? I like that word.
Life lesson, take a chance.
There you go. When we take a chance, we allow change to possibly happen, right? If I take a chance on recovery then gives me a chance, right? So first is we take a chance. After we take a chance on something, we allow the opportunity for change to occur. A lot of times I would never give anything a chance because I would, yeah. If I wasn't given 100% guarantee that I was going to be good at it, successful at it, and it was going to work, I didn't do it. I don't need 100% guarantee. I just need people in my life that can help me get through it if I'm not good at it. That's it. Right? Because when I fall, what hurts is the fall. If I could have people in my life that know me when I'm falling to catch me before I fall, I never hit the ground. I have those people in my life that know me well enough, like, yo, Mike, you're starting to fall off, you're starting to talk different, you're acting like, what's up? If you don't have someone in your life that can call you out, your ego has blinders, like the horses, right? Horses have blinders so they don't see what's there, so they don't get all out of whack. Our ego is actually a defense mechanism. It's blinders, so we don't have to see what's wrong with us, so we don't have to work on ourselves, so we don't have to feel that way. So our ego wants us to be able to eliminate it, rather than our spirit just give it to God and let Him do it. So if you don't have people in your life, your ego is going to play God. If you're going to do this alone, then all right, cool. Do you really want to get to the top of Mount Everest and not have anybody up there to see that you even got there? Or even share the experience with?
I'm here. My wife wants me to be here.
Okay.
I'm here because she won't come back to me until I fix myself.
Okay.
So in other words, I have somebody out there
Waiting for you.
for me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. Somebody to go back to. Not all of us have that. So harness that. And don't take it for granted.
I'm not. I want failure is not an option here.
There you go.
I have to finish this.
Come on. I'm with it.
Yeah.
The why creates the how. When you have a strong enough why you want to do this, you don't even have to figure out how to do it. It comes on its own. If your why is to get back to your wife. So your how you need to do that should be very specific. You know what you need to do to go back to that. Because his why is strong enough. If you don't know how to do this yet, your why might not be strong enough yet. You might not have found the why you want to do this yet.
Purpose.
Has to have purpose. Good stuff. Good stuff. What you got, Jonathan? Action word, life lesson. Something you can practice today. Good. The ability to bounce back. And then something you've learned from life. Ooh. So I wanted to ask a question. What do you think stops us? What we know or what we don't know? No. Good. Anybody else want to answer it? What do you think, personally? Do you think is what we know that stops us, or what we don't know is what stops
Well,
us?
it's what we know that stops us because our mind already knows that we're not supposed to do it.
Bang. Perfect. Because what I don't know, guess what? I can learn it. It's whatever I think I do know that stops. Oh, you know what? Treatment didn't work for me 29 times. It's not going to work again, so I'm not going. Because I think I do know. Right? Like children. Children, it's easy to teach them multiple languages. Why? Because they don't know one good enough. Right now, it would be difficult for me to learn Spanish, Chinese, or anything. Why? Because all I know is English. I'm going to compare all the languages to English. So it's what we know that stops us, not what we don't know. Because whatever I don't know, I can learn. Mark Twain has a great quote. My life is full of terrible misfortunes, which never happened. We draw conclusions into our mind how things are going to turn out or who someone is or their intentions, and we never pursue it. We allow the conclusion to be truth. So therefore, we don't do nothing, but in our mind, our conclusion became reality. So therefore, me not going to treatment because I knew it wasn't going to work, that conclusion led me to having a horrible time in treatment, even though I didn't fucking go. Be careful with your conclusions. Be careful on what you think on how something's going to turn out. How many times have I worried about something, did it, and was like, yo, what the fuck did I even worry about? You know, why worry if you're going to pray, and why pray if you're going to worry? It's insanity, right? Yes. What do you got for me, brother?
I'm grateful
Good word.
and keep doing good things for other people.
That's it. The more we think about others, the less we think about ourselves. The Bible says more blessed to give than to receive. And what is one of the things that we have, y'all here in the rooms? You got to give it to keep it. So there's truth to it's blessed to give. The more I give myself to people, the more I see why I went through what I went through. The more I share my recovery with people, the more I'm able to help people. And then I start seeing the value of my recovery. Because doing it just for me is not enough sometimes. I'm sorry, I'm being honest. Sometimes it's not enough. I need some extra in it. Because accountability is very important, right? We could all agree with that. I'm curious though. No one ever really talks about countability. We talk about accountability, holding myself responsible, but how much can people count on you today? Where's your accountability? How high is it? Because I need to hold myself accountable, but people are counting on you. Or yeah, like someone could rely on you to show up. You say you're going to be someone, they could count on you being there. When they need to call someone, they could count on you picking it up. Yes. So accountability is me making sure that I'm on the right path. Accountability is me making sure I'm available for others. We need both. Because me being counted on, yeah, it could cause some anxiety and pressure, but it makes me valuable. It makes me have worth. Right? We all looking for worth and be of value. Allow people to count on you and you will have value in somebody's life. You will have purpose. Someone's counting on you. You know who's counting on you more than anybody? Who do you think's counting on you more than anybody? God, yes. Your kids. I am. What version of you is counting on you the most? Higher self, good.
My better self.
Your better self, good. You ready for it? Your future self is counting on you to do the work today. The future you did nothing to you today for you not to make a fucking better life for that person in the future. Your future self is counting on you today. What are you going to do for that person today? Keep stepping. Don't give up. That's it. Sometimes that's all you could do is not give up. Give the future you an opportunity to exist, by not giving up today. Give the future you an opportunity to be better by not doing the same stupid shit today. Give your future self the opportunity to be loved by learning how to love yourself today. What are we doing for our future selves? We want everything in the future. Cool. How are you going to create the opportunity today? Because that's what we got to do. We got to create opportunities today. Create the opportunity. Not get it, receive it, and love it. It's a process, right? Good. Oh, I got your last group. My name is Mike. My action word is the same every single day. That is transparency. Reason being, secrets are like anchors on a boat. What does an anchor do for the boat? Keeps it in place, right? The reason we're not moving forward in life is because of secrets, not things you did in active addiction or fucked up shit. It's your thoughts, your feelings, and what you're going through. Can't keep them a secret no more. All right? Keep your thoughts a secret, they're going to destroy you. You keep your feelings a secret, they're going to consume you. You keep what you're going through a secret, you're not going to get help. I don't keep those things a secret no more. I am very, I'm an extrovert, so it's easy for me, right? But I wear it on my sleeve. You already know what time it is. I'm going to snitch on myself. I'm going to call myself out. I'm going to big myself up at times. I'm going to do all of it. So then this way it's received. Because if someone's only talking about how they know something and they're not telling you how they learned on how to use it and how it got better in their lives, it really is not received too well by people. People want to hear how we learned it, practiced it, and got better at it. That's what people really want to hear. Not do these 5 things and your life will be changed. Do these 5 things, your life will be changed. This is how I used the 5 things, and this is how it changed my life. Yes, it's the in-between, right? So good. So one of the things I want to talk about is why we shy away from change. Shy away from it, not why we can't. Why do we shy away from change? Why do you think we shy away from change? Scared, good.
You don't want to fail.
Don't want to fail, 100%. It could be worse, right? We'll take the lesser of 2 evils instead of actually changing. This ain't as bad as that, so I'll take this. Because if I try to do that and fail, it might be worse than this. So let me take the lesser of 2 evils than actually try to get something better. I lived my whole life like that. It was always the lesser than the better than. Right? It was always the lesser than better than, right? So one of the reasons why we shy away from change is because we haven't found something to replace our old habits with. We're trying to stop old habits, which I believe we should. But when you stop using, how much fucking time do you now have on your hands? A lot. So if we're not replacing the habit with a new habit, what do you think we're thinking of doing when we're not doing drugs? We're thinking about doing it. Because all we have is time now. You have to learn that, like, I want to quit smoking cigarettes. So I have to find a habit to replace it with because I can't do cold turkey. I just can't. Yeah? True? You know what I'm saying? But that's what I'm saying. So if your habit is using when you feel this way, how are you going to find a new habit to replace using with when you feel that way? Because you're going to feel that way again. There's no way to get rid of it, the feeling. There's ways to process and navigate through it. I counterpunch. I don't prevent. I let the world happen and I counterpunch it. I don't try to prevent the world from happening. Like negative thoughts, negative feelings, negative people, shortcomings, shit end of the stick, unfair. Yes, I don't try to prevent myself from being in that situation. Instead, my preparation is what am I going to do to counterpunch when this person talks to me a certain way I don't like? How am I going to counterpunch when I'm not getting what I want? How am I going to counterpunch rather than get hit, knocked down, fall, make bad choices, and now hate myself again? Yeah. So what do you think are some good habits? Because there's no such thing as a good addiction. There's only good habits. Right? Addiction is never a good thing, right? Singing? Good. Music?
Working out, healthy habits, self-care,
Yeah.
mindfulness.
Good.
Just keep going on.
I volunteered my time. soup kitchens, stuff.
People come out and say, hey, you're eating today, and you know, man, what's wrong? We
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just you catch people off fucking guard. Like I've opened the door and held it open, and the person was maybe 15 feet away, and it made their day. Like they were so surprised that someone actually waited 3 seconds instead of just holding it behind them. Yes. Yeah. And you'd be surprised how you never know where someone's at. And just like, yo, how you doing? You know, I like your sneakers. Where that goes, right? Because most people only do it on social media. I can show you how nice of a person I am when I'm in your comments so all your followers can see how dope I am, so maybe they'll follow me. Come on. Am I on? I'm on social media, yes. Instagram, it's Mike, M-I-K-E, Fiore, F-I-O-R-E, 118. Yeah.
Pizza place where I'm from called Fury's Pizza.
In New York?
No, Pittsburgh.
Oh, all right, because there's a Fiore's in New York and Soho.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good fucking pizza, Fiore. I used to act like my family owned it because I was an addict and I was just manipulating and lying. Yo, let's go to my family's restaurant and I'm buying everyone the pizza, but I want you to think I own the place. Because that's how I am in active addiction, right? So good. So we want to replace the old habit with, right? Another reason, one of the things we need to do is that we need to start behaving like the person we want to become now. Yes, you got to behave like the loyal person now, even though you haven't been loyal. You have to be the trustworthy person now, even though you haven't been. You can't wait until you get things before you start acting a certain way because you might not ever get it, so therefore you're not going to act like it. So we need to start behaving like the people we want to become now. Not when I get something, then once I get this, then I'll start being trusted. You can't do that. Yes, 100%. Yeah. A lot of times I wait to the day I woke up motivated. I had to wake up motivated in order to get my life together as far as my mindset was. Let me tell you what actually happened. One, the day never came that I woke up motivated to get this done. You know what that day was? Desperation. My motivation came in the form of desperation. It wasn't a good feeling that got me going. It was actually the worst fucking feeling I've ever felt in my life that got me going. So if we are waiting for the day that we wake up, quote unquote, the perfect time doesn't exist. The perfect time is actually 11:16 Wednesday. Right now is the perfect time. That's it. Not 30 days, not when there's, no, that's not the perfect time. The perfect time is right now to do something. Because if you think about it, the only time that actually really exists that's happening is right now. An hour goes over, an hour from now it doesn't exist. So right now is the perfect time, right? So we want to behave like the people we want to become, right? Clearly identify the type of person you like to be. I don't want to hear that you want to be a better person or a good person. That's not fucking good enough. I'm sorry. That's not clear. I want specifics. The reason I need specifics is because the more specific I get, the easier it is to walk into that person. If you say a good person, that's too vague. What are you working on today? You might be working on doing good things rather than being good. We become human doers instead of human beings. My life becomes about the doing of things rather than the being of something. Running from things, right? So clearly identify, like if you say loyal or honest or compassionate or whatever it is, respectful, that's specific. If I want to be a respectful person, I know how I need to act. If I want to be a good person, it's too much. I'm trying to do too much in one point. I don't do anything. So we clearly want to identify the person we want to become. Once we identify clearly who we want to become, we need to start behaving like that person, not acting like that person. There's a difference. Act as if? No. Behave as though you are. Acting as if I got 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I'm only acting as when I'm around people. When I'm alone, I'm not acting as if, because when I'm alone, I always revert to my character. Everybody does. When you're alone, your true character always comes out. When I'm around people, I can act as if. So if I'm only acting as if I'm in recovery, when I'm alone, I'm not in recovery. I'm only in recovery when I'm around people. Most of this walk is going to be you alone. Even if you're married or in a relationship. There's a lot of this that's done alone. A lot of it that needs to be done alone. So if we're acting as if you got 1 foot in, 1 foot out, you're going to develop the personality of recovery. You're not going to develop the character of recovery. The character of recovery is built when nobody's looking. So like for instance, if you're in PHP or IOP, you leave at 12 or you leave at 3, either or. I want to know what you're doing after, because it's fucking easy to sit in this group because you have to. You have to. If you don't, they might kick you out or whatever the case may be. I want to know what you're doing for you when you're not in these groups, when you're not around people. I want to know what that self-conversation is like. I want to know what that person's doing. I want to know that person's intentions. That's what I want to know. Who are you when nobody is looking? Because if you're acting as if, your ego is going to manipulate you into thinking that you are that person when you're not. So now I'm living 2 different realities of a person, when in reality, I'm only one person. So I'm around people, I'm one way. When I'm alone, I'm another way. There's that spiritual battle. I know I'm faking it when I'm alone, so I hate myself when I'm alone. So now I feel like shit when I'm alone. So now I'm depressed when I'm alone. So now I need to use when I'm alone. I'm not going to tell the world I'm using yet. My personality is still going to act as if I'm using, but I'm trying to get everyone to think that I'm still in recovery. Ever had that happen? I picked up keychains, high as fuck. Because it was about the personality recovery. Because I was acting as if. Because if I get you to think that I'm in recovery, maybe, just maybe, if you believe it, I'll start believing it. Because I need you to believe something about me before I believe it about me. Because God believing in me sometimes is not enough. So I need you. God will put people in our path to reassure who we are. He will put people in our path. If we are searching for people to make us feel that way, the enemy has a lot of people working on his side, man. And not all glitter is gold. Some of the ugliest people in this world are the most beautiful. Good? Yes. It helps because I don't have to do all the work. When I'm around people that are in recovery, sometimes I don't even need to speak. I just like sitting with them and hearing them speak. Because I don't feel as alone with my shit when I hear people speak. It's like the Me Too movement in a different way. Oh, me too. You went through that shit? Oh, me too. Oh, me too. So now I don't feel as alone. I don't feel like I'm the only one. If you feel like you're the only one in this world, ooh, this world is going to eat you up. It's going to eat you up. All of it. All of it. Right where the enemy wants us, right? So look, after we identify the type of person that we want to become, we then behave like we are that person. Not act as if we are. Behave as if we are that person. For instance, when I was in treatment, I started my nonprofit. And at that time, it was only paperwork. But I behaved like a CEO. Not arrogantly or egotistically, because I was broke as a motherfucker. What I mean is, I behaved as a CEO. I didn't entertain conversations a CEO would entertain. I didn't hang out with people that a CEO would hang out with. I behaved like a CEO as far as I didn't want to do anything to lose my company or give it a bad name, even though it wasn't even a fucking company yet. It is today. It's a worldwide fucking nonprofit today, 2 years later. But it's because I was already behaving like the person. So if you start behaving like the person you need to be out there while you're in here, when you get out there, you already hit the ground running. It's not a light switch. How many times the real world was a light switch? It was a switch that I thought I was going to be able to turn on when I left treatment. But I couldn't. Why? Because I only had the personality of recovery, because I was acting as if I didn't have the character. So when I left treatment, there was no more counselors, there was no more UAs, there was no more mandatory anything. I was left with me that I didn't work on because I acted as if. This is more important. What's more important is what you're doing when nobody's looking. How impactful? Yes. How impactful are you when no one's looking? Or you're trying to be impressive to those around you? How impactful are you on your own life in private? Or you're just looking to be impressive? Because that's one of the things. I have a lot of mantras, right? They're quotes, whatever, just to allow my mind to shift from negative focus to positive. I have mantras that shift my focus. One of them is be impactful, not impressive. Because of my ego, because of the great things that God has allowed me to accomplish, I get a lot of attention from people. So now I look to be impressive sometimes more than impactful. Like, how is this going to make me look rather than how is this going to make me better? I found myself walking that. And once God showed me that, it's all right. Now I just got to get better.
That's in California stuff too, though.
Yes,
It's
100.
very much like different in different places.
Yes, yeah. Because in New York, I'm just in New York.
Yeah, you're from
California,
yeah.
it's a whole different type of fucking thing, right?
Everybody moves differently.
Yes.
Especially
So I have to now start choosing to do things that has an impact, not impressive to the world, right? Another one that I have is experiences over expectations. I want to experience life. I don't want to have expectations of what life needs to be for me. I still expect, but when I'm expecting and I don't get what I want and I'm disappointed, my mind tells me just have the experience and now keep it going. So there's these mantras that I have to tell myself that allows my mind to go from one mindset to another. Come up with your own. You know what I'm saying? Can't be all work and no play. That's a mantra. I can't just be all work. I gotta have some fun with this shit. Recovery to me is not work. I believe the work was active addiction. I did 20 years on the job. Recovery to me should be like retirement. What do people do in retirement? Enjoy their life. How? What are some things they might do? Travel, vacations, pick up new hobbies, relax, not have to clock in. That's what your recovery should be. Your recovery should be retirement. You should learn how to live life, enjoy life, travel, pick up new hobbies, and sometimes be able to not do nothing and enjoy the fucking peace and quiet. If you're making your recovery a job, it's gonna fucking, you're not gonna want to do the work. It's gonna become an obligation. I don't know about you guys. If you make something an obligation, I ain't fucking doing it. And that's a horrible part of my character still. But if you tell me I have to do something, I'm gonna show you how much I have to fucking do. I know that about me and it needs to change. But since I haven't changed it yet, I don't have an excuse for why I can't succeed. I don't have an excuse. So I have to figure out another way to get through it until I change it. And a lot of times that's just becoming aware that there's a problem. First step is awareness. If you don't know you have a problem, you ain't got a problem. If I don't admit I was an addict, I never seen the problem of my addiction. My denial allowed me to overlook the problem. Once I identified as an addict, I allowed the problem to become aware. I was allowed to now be aware of it. To me, that is the only time that we should say that we are addicts. When it takes us from denial to awareness. Once you become aware, I don't see the solution in the identification of an addict. Especially when I'm in recovery. I don't see the solution for me. For you, if you do it. As a believer in Jesus Christ, though, explain to me how Jesus gets his glory by you identifying as an addict when you're in recovery. Stories in the Bible. The blind man. Jesus got the blind man to see, right? Yeah. What did the blind man say after that? Anyone know the famous line? I was once, blind, and now I see. He did not go around telling people he was still blind after Jesus gave him his sight. Why the fuck are we going around identifying as addicts when we're in recovery? AA, their literature has nothing in there that says identify as an alcoholic. Their literature states, I am a recovered alcoholic. Death and life is in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat the fruit therefore of it. Why am I identifying as the death of me and not the life of me? The leopard. Jesus cured the leopard of leprosy, right? Yeah. What did that leopard go around telling people? He didn't go around telling people I'm a leopard. He went around telling people Jesus cured me.
Yes.
He gave Jesus his glory. How the fuck am I getting Jesus his glory by me going around saying, hi, I'm Mike, I'm an addict? I'm not. Maybe that's why you think the ball is about to drop in your recovery.
Are you saying
maybe that
embrace him?
Yeah, maybe that's why you don't feel like you're in recovery, because you're identifying as the old. New wine doesn't fit in old wine skins.
Accept the brand new you.
Accept it.
Yes.
So in active addiction, I'm in denial because I can't admit I'm an addict. When I admit I'm an addict, I am no longer in denial, and the problem is now presented where I can work on it. Stay with me. If I'm in recovery, identifying as an addict, I see it as I'm in denial that I'm in recovery. That's why I think the ball is going to drop. That's why I think my addict self is fucking always around. Just me personally, I never opened these books, by the way. So I never opened the book of NAAA or NEA. I've never worked those programs. Not to say that I'm better than, I just don't have that knowledge in my mind where I'm tainted by it. That's what happens. If I'm Christian, right? That's who I am, right? That's what I walk. Someone who's not Christian isn't going to be able to challenge that if I'm a true Christian. I'm not trying to challenge. I think it works. NAAA, all of it works. What I don't agree with is the anonymous. Because we went anonymous for so long, we are not allowing the door to be open for people to not die in silence. Plus, if I'm in a room with other alcoholics and addicts doing it anonymous, how the fuck am I saving that 10-year-old kid from picking up a pill and dying from fentanyl?
We have to promote, is what you're saying, promote it. We have to promote what's right.
Yes. How are people hearing your story that you could save if you're only in a room with alcoholics and addicts? What about that fucking 10-year-old kid that's about to die 5 minutes from now because someone's dying every 5 minutes from fentanyl? How the fuck are we saving people if we're the ones that they need to fucking save them? We're the ones that live drug addiction. We're the only ones that can educate the public on old drugs and new drugs. A doctor ain't going to get people to hear them. A cop ain't going to get people to hear them. But having an addict in recovery tell you about it, you will listen. Why? Because these kids are going to the fucking drugs the same reason you and I did. Trauma, sexual abuse, abandonment, everything. The drug was allowed to be a fucking solution for us because the drug wasn't fucking fentanyl. If it's fentanyl, I'm dead. Everybody in this room is dead. I had 20 years addict. No way you getting 20 years with fentanyl. You're lucky if you're getting a couple. And those couple years, you're fucking dead anyway.
Yeah.
These kids are fucking dying.
Yeah.
Kids!
Innocent.
17-year-olds on the street right now in Alabama. So he came up here,
Where in Alabama?
Marshall County.
Near Albertville?
Yes.
I had people in Albertville.
Who you got in Abbeville?
Nolan.
Oh, Ray Ray?
Ray Ray.
Yeah, I don't know. He told me about this program to start with.
I
Yeah.
need to get him up here with me because he has no one there. And he-
I know they have people out there. If you reach out to Nolan, maybe they can help find them.
That's
Yeah,
a big word.
he's
If.
17, I'm gonna get
Yeah.
him on my insurance. He smokes with us, my 17-year-old.
Okay. Yeah, reach out to Nolan and tell him I'm gonna be in Albertville the 21st of September, doing an event out there. And Nolan can hook him up. Nolan can get him everything he needs to get out here. Yeah, so reach out to Nolan for sure. You're welcome. So we want to be proactive and becoming the person we want. What does that sound like to you? What does proactive mean? Say again.
Doing the work.
Doing the work. Good.
Stay in the
Say it again.
Putting the effort.
Putting the effort in. Good.
Putting the effort. Right.
Good.
Yeah.
So, after we identify the type of person we want to be, we have to start behaving like that person. After we start behaving, we have to be proactive about becoming that person, right? Instead of wishing you have this and that, start to act in the way you need to act to get it. People only wish for things they can't get, right? People wish for $1 million. Why? Because they don't think they could earn $1 million. So catch yourself on what you're wishing for, because what you're really telling yourself is that you need a fucking genie to come out of a fucking bottle to get what it is that you
I
want.
want the easy way.
Yeah, easy way. 100%. Way to point that out. So when you say, oh, I wish this person act that way, what you're saying is that that person can never act that way. That you need some wish for it to happen. So you need like an act of God for you to create something, or for something to happen, instead of maybe you helping that person become the person you want them to become. We want people to change. How much are you willing to help that person change? Because if you ain't, then you don't want that person to change. You just want what the fuck you want.
You want the easy way, right?
That's it. Selfishness. And it's all normal shit. We need to become aware of this shit sooner.
Y'all gotta do it for a reason.
Yes? I don't believe that God created us with defects of character. I'm sorry. I can't see me being created in the image of God, and the image of God has defects of character. No. I have things that happen and a way that I act that God's showing me who I become when I'm not with Him. Not a defect of character.
Oh, well said, bro. Well said.
Not a defect of character. They're opportunities.
You're well said. Well
When I'm selfish, God has given me an opportunity on how to learn how to be selfless.
said, bro. Well said.
When I'm lying, God is teaching me on how to tell the truth. By allowing me to lie and get fucking consequences from my lies, God is trying to teach me on how to tell the truth.
Well said.
You know why we see them as character defects? 1, because we're not learning from them. 2, because we're judging ourselves based on our sin.
Yeah.
So they're only defects of character because I'm judging myself on the sin. If anybody knows what sin is, does anybody know how the Bible describes sin? Like what it really is?
Something you've done wrong. If you know it's a sin,
Yeah.
if you know it's a sin, then you do it anyway. That's what makes it a sin.
Yes. Sin, basically, the way the Bible explains it, it's falling short of the mark. I'm falling short of being righteous. No, not righteous. No, not one. So God's already expecting it, by the way. Just letting you know that, right? Sin means falling short of the mark. So when I lie, I fell short of telling the truth. That's all sin is. If there's a bullseye on this board and I shoot and I miss the mark, what do I have to keep doing to hit the mark?
Keep trying, shoot. Keep trying to hit the mark.
Keep shooting. We don't keep shooting. I lie and then I don't try to get better. I just keep lying. So now I'm going to revert to Romans. Romans, it says, do not let sin reign.
In other words, if you fall, don't stay falling there. You have to get up.
Got to get up. Who do you need? Jonathan. And the Bible says, do not let sin reign over your mortal body, for you may obey its evil desires. Do not let sin reign. So we sin, and then the sin becomes us.
Yeah.
Why? Because we stopped shooting. I started to judge myself because I was lying. Oh, I'm a liar. I now give myself a label because of something I've done. Who we are and what we do are two different things.
Yay, very well said.
Why? How do I know that to be true? For 20 years, I was making bad choices. I don't think we're bad people. I think we make bad choices, right? How do I know that to be true? If the things I did in my act of addiction truly made me who I am, for me to identify as an addict, then please explain to me how I'm not the same fucking person today then. What we do and who we are two fucking different things. I am a child of God. My identity is through Jesus Christ. Period. Sometimes I do stupid shit though.
Shortcomings sometimes.
But I'm still a child of God even though I just fucking robbed somebody. I'm still a child of God even though I'm fucking miserable. Keep getting back up. So what we do and who we are two different things. So if you are allowing the things that you did in your act of addiction to be identification of who you are as a person, guess what? That's who you are. I could drive a bus. I'm a bus driver. But when I go home, I could be a father.
You could be a father.
We're allowing the enemy to make us think that we are the things we're doing, rather than understanding that we are a child of God, and the reason that we're doing these things is because we're not close enough to God. We're not giving it to God. We're not doing that. That's the only reason why we're doing those things. God is trying to teach us on how to walk with Him.
You think it's God trying to teach
Subconsciously,
you?
like
Or is
subconsciously,
it
Okay.
trying to trick you?
There could be either or, but go ahead.
subconsciously trying to lead you to.
Yeah. Well, in the Bible says you can only come to God as if He brings you to Him. So we didn't save ourselves. Think of where God found you.
Right.
Where did God find you? You didn't find Him. He found you. Right? So we didn't even save ourselves. I know sometimes we think it's our work that saves us. We are saved through grace, not through our works.
Amen, yeah.
Right? I only get to do the things I get to do because of His grace. Yeah.
It's not, yeah.
The night before I come here, I already had class.
Okay.
So I go and I get home. And I pick up there and I get a PI. The night before I come here. And it was on Saturday. And I had 3 outstanding ones. So it was really severe and all that crap I got. I was running from. And well, I got locked up. You know, he had me let me go. I didn't. And I couldn't get straight. So, but that had to be God.
Yeah?
If I would still be in jail right now, I'd be much more.
Yeah? 100%. And to get back to what you were saying, I don't know if the enemy tries to teach. The enemy tries to fool. God tries to teach.
We have to acknowledge
So
it. Yeah.
the only way I can know if I'm being fooled or not is if I'm patient.
No, I said trick.
Oh,
That
tricked.
teach.
Oh, okay, my bad. I thought you said teach.
Yeah.
My bad.
Whether God's trying to teach you something,
Or the enemy trying
or
to
the
trick you.
devil's trying to trick you.
Yeah? I think the
Which
only...
how do you know, if you either.
Yeah.
My cousin told me that about 2 years ago.
No, it's
Don't
legit.
let the devil get in your head.
Sometimes...
He's trying to trick you.
Yeah?
And he's gonna come at you in the ways that are most weak.
Well, the enemy knows us just as well as God does. You gotta remember.
Wait. As much as God does. Well, wait a minute.
The enemy knows just...
You're putting him in equal position here now. Whoa.
knows us as people.
If you let it in you, then it will come into you. If you let it.
Okay,
if you let the
so
devil
me,
come into you.
all right, what I mean is the enemy knows me way better than I know me.
Okay. If you let it in you, then it will capitalize you.
But so you feel if I know that the enemy knows me well, that's me inviting him in?
He cannot read your heart though.
No.
He cannot. Only God can read our human heart.
Yes.
Yes. But if you let that capitalize you, then you will go straight.
But the enemy knows what my flesh wants.
That's the hardest part right there, brother.
But that's what I'm saying. So the enemy knows me
You don't want God
very
to
well.
be
Very well. God is discerning my heart, but the enemy knows what I want, my flesh. So he knows how to really trick me well. He knows me better
He can
than
trick you, yes.
he knows me better than I know
He
myself.
can trick you, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the enemy, I believe.
So, and we're talking about devil. Who's the devil in terms of
Who
who is the devil?
is the devil?
Yeah.
According to my faith, that's Lucifer that became Satan.
Right, he's
He
a
was
fallen
an angel
dark
too. Yes.
Lucifer was the most beautiful angel.
Yeah, angel
Angel.
of
He
light.
won, but he wanted to be God, right?
Yes, he was the angel of light and of music.
Yeah.
Yes.
He was the worship.
But-
So now you see how music is used.
Created
Yeah.
it, did he not?
What?
No one can be bigger than God, so he made him better.
And then what is God doing to his beloved archangel? Just same thing he would do to you and I.
There's
He's
something new
teaching
to
him a
music.
lesson.
Music and.
Wait, that is something new that you added here. The
What?
music. I've never heard about that
I've
part.
never heard of
He's the God of worship.
I've never heard about
He was the
music.
angel of worship. Yeah,
I know
look.
that he was the light, but not the-
No, angel of worship. Let's see. Let me see. Well, that's what it was. He was the angel of worship music, and people were loving him, and he thought he could be God, right? Let's see. Yeah.
I didn't need art looks, I didn't need angel.
Right.
I didn't need angel art, angel lady, and she gave me all different angel stuff.
Probably had all these.
So let's see. Let's see what this says. Real.
And I pulled my one of my guardian angels, and her name was Ariel. And
All right.
and then
Let's see what this says, real quick. So it says in the King James Version, seems to hint that Satan was involved with music in heaven. The New King James Version says the workmanship of your timbers and pipes was prepared for you on the day you were created. Although the exact meaning of this is difficult, Hebrew text is uncertain, right? So here we go.
what does that mean?
I'm gonna break it down.
Or was he not free will?
I thought they were
Like,
brothers.
is there destiny and
Oh.
Brothers.
and we can fuck with it a little bit,
Ah,
right?
you
Like,
think God and the devil were brothers.
No.
I don't know why I thought that.
Where did you get that from?
Yeah.
So it's really not, they're saying that it's not clearly demonstrated through scripture that he's the angel of worship. Clearly stated, but there are things that refer to him as like that.
or something like that.
That's because he didn't get in your head.
So here, he was called, in scripture, he's called the guardian angel of, where is it? Guardian, the anointed guardian cherub, which kind of means, I'm going to break it down. Let me look it up. I just want to Google it. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong because I'm horrible with some of these names in the Bible.
I believe this is as real as God.
Oh, these, out, those, scripture, and the real scripture part.
The better you're doing in life, the more the devil I believe is money.
Yeah, no, that was crazy.
Yeah, there's really no straight scripture, but I was told that he.
But he says,
And sometimes the worse I
the
do,
more
the better I
prepared you are
do.
in your faith, the more you can